we get started, I was going to ask for grace for Danielle and I, but today I'm going to ask for grace for myself and her daughter Carson, who is filling in for her because she's not feeling well today. As my mom Hazel tries to pass the torch to us, we are trying to overcome our fear of public speaking. So if I stumble or get lost, forgive me. Usually I start speaking at an extremely rapid pace. And graduates, if Carson happens to mispronounce your name, trust me, she understands. Her last name is Doubted, so it happens all the time. Alright, now let's get to what we came here for. I would like to thank all of you for being here as we celebrate this milestone achievement these graduates have reached. Graduates, hard work, dedication, and perseverance have brought you to this momentous occasion, and you should be proud of yourselves. As you reflect on this chapter of life you are completing, let us not forget that none of us has made this journey alone. Behind every graduate sitting before me, there is a support system of family, friends, and mentors who have offered guidance, encouragement, and unwavering belief in your potential. To those of you who have been part of the support system, thank you and congratulations. Today would not be possible without all of you. And now Jake Smith is going to come and give our message to the graduates.
How are you doing? Yeah. Good. Graduates, how are you doing? Good. I saw a thumbs up. Good. Parents? Such a sweet moment. Even creation is crying for us today. They're so happy. So happy. Well, as Erica just said, my name is Jake Smith. I am a youth pastor in the local area. Just down the road, I get to have the privilege, I don't have the excuse of being nervous. I get to talk in front of people for a living, so I apologize. We have the privilege as Creekside Church just down the road of hosting the Oak and Sparrow Learning Lab for At Home in the Low Country, and it is such a blessing to hear some of these kids run the halls, some of them louder than others, but all of them just enjoying education, and it is no surprise that they've ended up here joyful, excited to be done, excited to celebrate this moment. And graduates, well done. Hats off to you. Applause to you all. Now, graduates, before we get too carried away with today, I'm going to ask for a little bit of participation from you guys, okay? Is that okay? I know it's early in the morning, but we're going to just a little bit. Okay, do me a favor. Look around. Find your parents and loved ones in the crowd. Just give them a little wave. Yeah, it's okay. Give them a little wave. Yeah. Stand by. Make sure you see them. Okay. And now look to your neighbor and say, neighbor, we've made it. We made it. Now what? All right, graduates. Now what? I want to talk to you today from that very same idea. Now what? And I want to encourage you with this. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come for you graduates. In a moment very similar like this moment here, the great Tom Hanks once said, the future is always uncertain, but we who celebrate what you have done, who celebrate all your achievements, we are certain of one thing today. You will not let us down. So I ask you, now what? What is ahead of you? And now, I know there is a world of opportunity. Some of you are going to go straight to the workforce. You got a job lined up. You're so excited for it. Or maybe you're going to serve our country. And to that, we salute you. We thank you. We're so proud of you and so grateful for that. And some of you are just excited to take a nap. And then maybe we'll figure it out like tomorrow. We'll get there in a moment. So there's a world of possibility ahead of you. One that wasn't afforded to you yet. And now today is a day where we hand you this diploma. A piece of paper that certifies that you know all the things that you need to know, that you've done all the things that you need to do. And we're so grateful and excited for you to get to do that. Now, if you're anything like me, in a moment just like this, there were two competing narratives that were just told to me. From those above me, from my mentors, from my parents, from my grandparents, what I heard was a recollection of the good old days, where you had to trudge through the snow, uphill both ways, And yeah, the good old days where everything was sweeter and more vibrant. And then there was the narrative of those who were just ever so slightly ahead of me, who, when I was in elementary school, they said, oh yeah, middle school is where it's at. And then when I was in middle school, all the high schoolers were like, it's the best, it's way cooler than middle school. And then you get to the end of high school, and everyone's like, college is the best 4 years of your life. And then you get to college, and then people are like, it's your career, and it's making a family, and then it's retirement in Florida. And then it's like, when are the good old days? And so what I want to encourage you with today, in the brief time that we have together as we celebrate you, is I want to give you 3 little tidbits from a friend who's just a little bit ahead of you guys, to celebrate how to be in the moment, to celebrate the good old days now. Before they're gone, before they've left you, how can we take hold of the glory days, the good old days, the sweet moments here and now? How can we enjoy them? And so the first one that I want to instill in you this morning is to stay curious. To stay curious, to be dissatisfied with accepting the status quo, to be dissatisfied with settling. And I think this is a very poignant illustration. In the early 1800s, there was a philosopher by the name of Soren Kierkegaard. And Soren Kierkegaard was a man who was dissatisfied with the philosophy of his day. And he wanted to be a man of action, not just a man of pure knowledge. He wanted to be a man who did something with his life, and who saw that his thoughts took action and resulted in some good in the world. And so Soren often wrote and studied about how to be this kind of man, and it even reflected in his faith that he wanted to be a man of action for the kingdom of God. And so he would often write stories reflecting on this, and one of his stories is a story about a goose. And this goose, you know how geese fly, they fly south for the winter. And so this goose, rather than flying south along with the other geese in its flock, decided to settle in a farm. And as it settled, it began to enjoy the comforts, the cuisine, and the company of a chicken coop. And now you begin to think, like, that's odd for a goose to settle in a chicken coop. And it stayed there for a year, and it enjoyed a surprisingly mild winter. And as the next year rolled by, the gaggle of geese flew overhead, and it sensed the call of the skies. It knew that it was supposed to go somewhere, had to do something, and so it began to flap its wings. Well, chickens can't fly, and so the goose hadn't used its atrophied wings in a year, and as it began to soar off the ground but a few inches, it settled for the coop. It heard the call of the skies, and it settled for less. It settled for less than what it was made for. And now, class of 2024, I implore you today not to be a goose who settles for the coop. I want you to stay curious, to hear the call of the skies, destiny, God, whatever you want to call it. Listen to the call. Stay curious. Be unceasingly motivated to figure out and understand the why behind this urge in your chest that you feel. Stay confused, stay curious, and this will open up a world of possibilities before you. Refuse to settle for anything less than what you know that you're capable of. Be the you that your grandma is so excited for you to be, okay? Like the one like when she pinches your cheeks and she's like, she knows that you're capable of like ruling the world. Be that person. Refuse to settle. And now I know that we can't assume in this moment that you have the next 70 years of your life figured out. And as much as we want to know what your next steps are, what your next plans are, we know that that's not true. And so my second little tidbit for you is to stay focused. Stay focused. Enjoy and focus in on a single path. With this world of possibilities ahead of you, it is very easy to go along the 12 paths that are in front of you. I mean, it sounds really cool to be a chef DJ, right? Like that sounds like a sweet little, like I can do both. But what more joy could you ask for to just run in your lane? Now, when I was in college, I had 2 goals. I wanted to learn 5 languages and have my doctoral degree by the time I was 30, which I'll tell you right now, that's not happening. And I wanted to marry this girl that I was dating Now I can tell you, I chose one path and I am so privileged to enjoy that path that I chose. Now, is that dream off the table? By no means. Would I love to be able to just speak and know and understand all these different languages and be called Dr. Jake? Yes, of course. But the fulfillment of this life, that as I walked through these different paths, as I walked through the doors that were set before me, I saw such fulfillment in them. And then for those of you who are Christians, for those of you of faith, as a pastor, I have to implore you, run the race that is set before you. The Apostle Paul says this so clearly. Now, if you're a runner, this illustration is very clear. Now, if you're like me and running isn't a joy, it's a punishment, this is the illustration Paul's trying to paint. He invites us to run with our eyes set before us, clearly on the finish line. Because if I look to the left or the right, my legs are going to get tripped up and I'm going to fall. And I'm going to stumble, and I'm going to begin to compare and despair as I see the other person whose race is just a little bit more shiny, or maybe the other person's race who's going to get them a little bit more money, or maybe I just need to settle and look into the race that is set before me. I need to find the lane that I have been designed and gifted to run in. Now we run with our eyes set before us, looking towards the prize. Run in your lane as hard and as long as you can. Now, a little side tidbit. For those of you headed into college, statistics will say that within the first year of your college experience, you will change your major twice. So, here's my encouragement. Run your lane. And maybe you're thinking, business major. I want to be a business major, but then you realize you have to take business law, and then you're like, nah, don't want to do that. So guess what? It's okay. Run your race as long as you can. Maybe it's not business. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's finances. Maybe it's you fill in the blank with what God has put on your heart. Run your race for as long and as hard as you can. And then my last little tidbit for you is to stay present. Class of 2024. It is so vitally important. And this is wisdom that I've learned from many sage mentors in my life. But it is so important to stay present in the moment. It is a sweet joy to get to enjoy a meal or a coffee with a friend as you just sit and enjoy their company. It is a sweet moment to get to celebrate. And the moment when you realize like you've forgotten your phone in your pocket, those are sweet memories that will always stay with you. And I just want to encourage you, there's tons of roads ahead. Today is a day where we mark this moment and we look forward and say, what's next? What's next? What now? The best is yet to come. How can I be present now? And so I want to encourage you, stay present, enjoy the moment. Be distraction free. Enjoy what God has put in front of you for this moment, for today. Take your time. Take a breath. In all the pomp and circumstance, as you are well celebrated today, as I'm sure moms and dads, grandmas, grandpas, cousins, aunts, uncles, everyone around you is going to flood from the woodworks to celebrate you. And you might feel that like flutter in your chest of like not wanting to be in the spotlight. Take a moment. Take a breath. Well done. You deserve it. And we, as those around you, as the village that has helped raise you up and get you to this moment, we do take the liberty and we do take today to pinch your cheeks a little, to celebrate you well, to cry a little. It's okay. Like, they might cry for you. Just give them grace. It's going to pass. We're going to celebrate you, and we are so glad for today. So, class of 2024, congratulations. We're proud of you. You guys look awesome in your caps and gowns and your sashes. Today is a day to say, now what? And to remember that the best is yet to come. Can you all join me in congratulating this class of 2024? Class of 2024. Stay curious, stay focused, stay present. Y'all are loved. Congratulations.
And now, Carson Douthit is going to call the graduates' names. As she calls your name, graduates, you will come up on the stage, and parents or whomever will be presenting their diplomas, you will come on stage with them, and you're welcome to say a few words or nothing at all. It's completely up to you. But as she calls your name, you just make your way to the stage and meet each other right here in the middle of the stage, okay?
Shamora Elena Aiken. Shanaisha Brown. Abigail Elizabeth Clark. Ryan Nicole Clemens. Dallas Riley Cole. Zachary Ian Cross. Jules Aiden Dansker. Briley Michaela Doody. Christian John Dixon.
Today, you graduated. See that ball on.
Sanaya Laisha Dotson.
Children are inheritance of the Lord, and the fruit thereof is His reward. And tonight you are our reward. Your mom, I know she would love to be up on the stage right now. She's very diligent, but you've been a blessing to us. Your 18 years, and we just love you and thank you. Just pray that you will follow whatever the Lord has for you.
Janella Onya Graham. Skylar Reagan Green. Skylar is sick, so she cannot be here today. Haley Michelle Groves. Sierra Alyssa Hill. Rashid Scott. Walter Scott. Brandon Carl Scheidler.
I told him not to eat books, but instead, since then, he decided to carry his little Bible and back everywhere.
And with us being a military family moving around a lot, it's always hard to make friends. And once he makes those friends, he just cherishes and loves those that are around him. And is a super hard worker and going off to college. We know that God has great plans for him. Can't wait to see what he does with his life.
Cassie Lane Whitfield. Raeja Whitaker. Robert Marlon Wiggins.
She graduated a year early and directions we take.
Amelia Grace Young.
Congratulations, class of 2024. You made it. some of our graduates were wearing different colored cords. If you have a white cord, would you please stand up? These graduates have graduated with at least a 4.0 or better GPA. And this is the first time we haven't ever had anybody with a red, white, and blue, which is our military board, but I want to thank everybody who came to support these graduates. And if you would please stand as the graduates exit the building. We would ask that you let them exit first, and then because of the rain, you can meet them in the foyer area. Normally it's outside. So congratulations again to the class of 2024.